What's up, manga fans? This is Rafael from C Manga, and welcome back to another review of Hajime no Ippo. This week's chapter 1071, Gonzalez's Certainty. I have to say, this week's chapter and last week's chapter have been so depressing. We've seen, chapters and arcs like this before where it's been depressing, sad, and just heart wrenching. Well, this one really struck a nerve for me today. I mean, seeing Ippo struggling to move about, he just looks so, I'd say pitiful and broken, like both mentally and physically. It's like I don't even think he realizes completely what's actually going on. He says he has, but I think the only thing he realizes is that he's lost. But it's like he just can't control his body. And I feel like with this chapter, Morikawa started, kind of delving back into, I'd say, the darker aspects of boxing again, showing, what how dangerous boxing can be. It is a life-threatening sport. You can actually be killed in there or turn into a vegetative state or whatever, a coma. And it feels like, the way Ippo's acting is kind of showing that this is like a mild version of that. So if things have gone worse, Ippo could probably end up, dead or vegetated. So obviously it's still up for, debate what his condition is. We're gonna have to see, when we see a post, obviously diagnostic, when a doctor sees him. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's gone there with this chapter showing how dangerous stuff is. But from the get-go, as I said, when I saw Ippo, get up after dropping his gloves, it just seemed like he's completely, accepted his loss. He's getting up and walking off despite the protest for him not to walk alone, and he's swaying about like, really pitifully and without any control of what he's doing. And he even ends up falling onto Alfredo, who shoves him aside, literally. And I just thought, cause like that's so depressing. And he's turned and looked at him. His eyes are all swollen up. He can't really grasp or see things properly. And I just really felt upset for Ippo. He's gotten his ass handed to, and he, obviously he's walking out of this in a very bad condition. And I just want to know what his mental health is going to be like after this. So on Alfredo's side, we can see that he was actually still hurt. He's on shaky legs, and he's actually quite frustrated and irritated by Ippo, because after every little thing he threw at Ippo, he's managed to still get up on his own. And he said this kind of behavior irritated him in the match, and now he's still irritated by that. And that's what drove him, to get angry and started forcefully trying to beat him down, in the more Aztec god style. Which was destructive. And he said, he even admitted himself, if I didn't gain my consciousness back and calm down and get my rhythm, I could have been the one who lost. And what was interesting, where he goes on to elaborate about Ippo, he says, technically speaking, as when it comes to Ippo's technique, he's unremarkable, he's nothing special, but he felt that there was something in him where it was like, something inside him he had to stop. Basically, he had to cut him there, and he didn't want him to reach Ricardo Martinez with that. So I can only assume this special thing he's talking about is something that's been long, a long running theme in Ippo, is his courage, is his unbreakable spirit. Ippo has this kind of power most other people don't have, is that he can't be broken no matter how low you would think he reaches in a fight, or how hopeless the situation. He's one of those boxers that never usually gives up, from what I've seen, until he's out cold, as we've seen. And that's what I think he's saying that makes it special. He's not a genius boxer, he's not the best technical boxer at all, and as I said, his boxing's old and quite rugged, but as a a man, you might as well say he's strong. He's got this spirit that just will keep letting him go, and you can tell that scared the crap out of Alfredo, and he didn't want that to reach Ricardo, because he felt like he would have been some sort of challenge. But I still think that spirit can only carry you so far, and this loss is definitely something Ippo needs, because if you went to Ricardo after beating Alfredo, I think he would be in a worse state than what we see now. So yeah, he's basically saying he's gonna walk on his own to be proud. He's gonna walk back to he's gonna head on home to Mexico proud. And we see more very menacing facial expressions from Sendo Miata. The dirty looks they were giving Alfredo as like he was walking down and walking past. And I'm wondering what kind of looks are those? Are those revenge looks, like I hate you for doing this to Ippo, or is this competition looks like I want to fight you, like because they're interested, obviously seeing his skill. But in my opinion, personal opinion, I feel like these are some menacing, I'd say very malevolent looks on their faces. They look like they want to beat him down for what they did to Ippo. It doesn't look like a challenging or up for the challenge look. These look like some I'm very peed off with you, I want to kick your ass kind of look. And I can only imagine, when you think about it, it's like he did win the fight fair, so what are they so peed about? And it could either be like they're peed how humiliated Ippo kind of was in this fight. The behavior, how he is, in the aftermath is not very, kind of, I'd say, respectable of a boxer. He looks like a wreck right now, and Alfredo's attitude probably is coming off wrong to him. He looks smug and arrogant, like he won so easily. He's brushed Ippo aside. He has called him before, nothing special, don't expect nothing from him. So maybe they're angry about that. But I just want to know what's happening with them. Maybe they're just looking to challenge, world stage boxers. Maybe that's like their fire up. But to me, they just look really angry. So the chapter kind of ends on, one of those solemn notes where Ippo's doing his usual thing, whether he's won the match or not. He's doing his polite bow to the crowd, but he looks really wrecked. I mean, we had that little panel up close and his eyes are just like completely dazed, and I'm just thinking he looks like a zombie right now, and he's most likely gonna fall down any second. So I hope he's okay. He probably is going to be okay. I mean, he is the main character, but I hope it's not something, long lasting or something that's going to keep him out for too long. Obviously, he's going to need the downtime, but I just want to see what's going on with Ippo right now. His psyche, his mentality, physically, he just looks like a wreck. So, yeah, that was it for this chapter. I can't wait to see what happens next time. As I said before, this felt like a dark alternative to the old Date fight. When the Date fight, he lost that. Date was a bit more kinder to him. He kind of left, obviously, on a more bittersweet note, where it's like he fought his best, but at least he'd got a good challenge out of this. This one just seemed like the opposite. Like he's broken, he's lost. There was no, kind of nice thoughts to walk away from this. He just straight up lost, knocked out, and he's in a worse condition than obviously the Date fight. And as I said, the whole darker aspect of boxing, you heard what I said before, it definitely feels like it's highlighting that there boxing is dangerous, and this is the results if you're not careful. And only think that after this, Ippo's probably going to start, trying to think about his life, and boxing, and he's most likely going to think, if I'm going to challenge the world, I'm going to have to realise my life is going to be at a serious risk. So he's going to most likely build up his resolve, gain some character development, and become back stronger, both mentally and physically. He's going to be going to the world saying, yeah, I'm ready to challenge anyone. I'm not going there just to see if I can do best, because remember he said that before. He wants to go there, he wants to win regardless of the cost. That's what he's going to need, and I can't wait to see that. Obviously, I want to see him increase his strength as well, and his boxing technique improve on that. Can't wait for that as well. And I can only assume the next things we're going to see now, most likely Takamura's world title fights. Hopefully we see Itagaki fight again Aoki, Kimura, Sendo, Mashiba, whoever else. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next in Ippo. I do think things will hopefully improve, and as I said, we'll get some nice stories in the next 1,000 chapters maybe. So that's it for me. I enjoyed this chapter. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box below, and also if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this review, subscribe for more content, and I'll speak to you guys next week.